So good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you happen to be. This is our first AllReady stand-up of 2017. We had quite a few of them in 2016. We took a break for the holidays. And so today we're going to talk a little bit about state of the project, some of the most recent developments that have been going in there, a little bit of where we're looking to go in this month in terms of kind of finishing up the release and getting it in the hands of folks. And then we've got a big event, actually, I think in just a couple of days. And so we're going to talk a little bit about each of those topics. So I'll start off talking a little bit about the state of the project. I'm going to pull it up right now. We hit a few milestones. We blew through a few milestones, which is awesome. We are over 100 contributors. We are 106 contributors, which is a stunningly large number and something we're impressed by. In fact, in a moment, I'll talk about how we've had a whole bunch of pull requests in the last month or so, and they're from a number of folks that, you know, some of us have never met, never talked to. So we've got a broad community of folks contributing, and that's very important to us at HTBox. We also blew through another numeric milestone, which is we're past 2,500 commits. The beginning of 2016, we were pretty in much smaller number. So I believe we've at least doubled that. In fact, I'm not sure if this is a lucky number, but we're at 2,666. So definitely a big number and pushing along there. We've closed out over 750, in fact, 805 pull requests. And, you know, some of those close and don't get committed, but I was kind of trying to run some quick numbers, and it looks like about 750 of those are actual additions to the project. And so again, another stunning number. If you think about it, the project's been around for just longer than a year, and so that's, you know, more than one or two a day. Speaking of the pull requests, I mean, if we go across this, you know, Steve will be talking in a moment, Mike McCarthy, a number of folks who have been
I think we've lost Tony temporarily. I shall pick up where he left. Oh, is that Tony coming back now? No, I shall pick up and hope we are still live. I'm not sure what happens when his machine goes down. Classically, we've seen Hangouts crashing Chrome quite regularly for all of us now. So yeah, talking about the pull requests and kind of the pieces of work that are recently going in. We've done a big piece of work. The sort of tricky stuff got left to the end of the most recent milestone around Twilio and SMS integration, so that we can send messages to the requesters to get confirmations from them that they're okay on a given date when we schedule their request into an itinerary. That piece of work's been hooked up. So Mike's done a lot of work with Hangfire, which is what we're using for scheduling those SMS messages to go out. And then I've been sort of working with the Twilio APIs to handle taking the responses coming back. So the requester sends a yes or no, and then depending on that, we take the appropriate action in the system to confirm that request against the itinerary. So that work's all gone in, seems to be working quite well. And then the other big piece of work that we're doing at the moment is around trying to get the project onto .NET Core. So we've been running ASP.NET Core, but on top of the full framework for quite some time. Sort of historically, when the project started, we had a lot of dependencies that just weren't ready for .NET Core. And we're now sort of working on targeting .NET Core, so that hopefully we can start developing cross-platform as well. There's a few minor issues left to resolve around time zones, which always seem to come up for us, but we're nearly there with that. And welcome back, Tony.
Turns out that while we may have moved to the year 2017, it turns out video conferencing is still very hard as a software point of view. So still doesn't work, just in case anyone's wondering. So thanks, Steve, for jumping in. It sounds like you started talking about some of the recent code additions pull requests. I can pull my stuff in later. You want to continue in on that? It sounds like you were talking about the move to .NET Core.
Yeah, I think we've pretty much finished ready. So yeah, as soon as that bit's merged in, we'll get a bit more testing to do on Macs, but at least we're in a much better position that sort of resolving that time zone stuff, we might be able to get Mac developers into the project, which would be really good news.
And I'm looking to merge that a little bit later today. I'd love to get that in place before the NDC event to open up to as many people, whether it's Visual Studio Code, hopefully, you know, with the one issue, Mac developers, etc. I know you've also been doing some work around Twilio phone number lookup and a few other items like that. Is you and Mike, I should say.
Yeah, we talked about it actually while you were crashing Chrome.
While I was rebooting Chrome. Yep. Okay. So the last thing I was going to say on my part then is I was just going through the pull requests. Like I said, we've had quite a few, and we've had a lot from regular folks like Mike and Steve, but we also have had quite a number of here, and I'm going to pronounce these wrong because they're GitHub names, but want to throw out a few names like Joro550, Chris Wooder. Let's see, down here there was Chris Sargood, Dee Christensen. I know Yannick Mises is in there, Chin Wobble, and quite a few different GD Reese. And so just want to kind of point out, it's not just sort of a rotating number of core folks who tend to do a lot of contributions, which we're of course thankful for, with folks like Steve and Mike and others. But it's also a large number of folks who really been contributing to the project, particularly recently, and that's just great to see from our point of view that we've really got a community building around this application. So speaking of that, I'll hand it over to Jim, and if you could talk a little bit about, we've talked recently, we're doing a little stuff with scenarios and just really trying to verify the fit and finish, the gap, and how we get this out in the hands very soon here.
Yeah, so I guess we represent the users, primarily the Red Cross in Chicago, and so the way we see ourselves using this application to start is first taking the information, the requests that we're getting from clients who are looking for smoke alarm installations in their homes. That information gets brought into AllReady. We then turn that into itineraries that we can give to our volunteers, and they then are able to go out and fulfill those. Also important is the scheduling component, allowing our volunteers to see what tasks are available that they can sign up for, and then managing where those volunteers are going. So those are kind of the primary functions that we're looking to get out first. We actually don't have anything currently, aside from the occasional spreadsheet that actually allows us to do this. So we have a lot of our folks are really excited to have an opportunity to actually start using something and testing it. And what I am certain, knowing our volunteers, they'll have a lot of opinions. They'll have a lot of feedback once they start using the application, and so we'll have a lot of good information to go with moving forward after we get that initial release out, to start taking the application and really allowing it to evolve into a tool that they'll really like using. So.
Perfect, and that's absolutely our goal, is to get in the hands of folks and see sort of assumptions we've made, some design decisions, and how those really last in the hands of actual developers. So it's perfect to have, and I know my experience with similar types of folks are never shy in terms of giving feedback, because whether it's disaster response, it's preparedness, or any kind of humanitarian effort, it's just situations that are allergic to complexity and really want sort of the best and simplest solution that can give them value and allow them to be more efficient with what they're doing.
Yeah, the one other thing I'll add from my perspective, it's been an amazing process to watch. One of the things that I've always wanted to see if it was possible is can coding be a viable volunteer experience, both within our organization and as something larger. And so what this project has proven is that it can. We can bring people literally from all over the world together to work on this application in a really collegial manner, and actually build something that folks are going to use. So it's been a really amazing process to watch and see how this project has evolved, and we're really grateful to be a part of it.
Excellent. So one of the last things we're going to mention today is we have a big event coming up in 2 days. So on Monday the 16th and Tuesday the 17th in London for NDC London. So if you want info on this, it's ndc-london.com. From HTBox, both Richard Campbell and Bill Wagner will be there. And it's going to be a 2-day hackathon, codathon to work on AllReady, work on HTBox, and really kind of, help move the project forward. It's in London, and in fact, if I'm not mistaken, Steve, I believe you're going to be there, and if assuming trains are running, it's a couple hours away.
That's it, yep. Hoping to get the 5:50 train in the morning and get up there and be somewhat awake when I arrive, ready to start coding. It should be a good event, though.
Excellent. And as I understand, I believe people can attend that. I think there's still registration. You don't have to have a full ticket to NDC London in order to go to that.
That's correct, yeah. There's a separate sign-on page for the workshops, and it's a free event, so you can just go on there, register yourself, and then you should get a ticket to go and attend at the workshop location.
Yep, and in addition to getting to Code for Good and all that, you get to meet Richard, you get to meet Bill, and you get to meet Steve. So really, how can you go wrong with that set of folks you get to meet?
And hopefully I've invited some of my colleagues from the British Red Cross who will hopefully be there and get to see this up close for the first time. So really hope to get them there and let them experience what this project's all about.
Excellent. So last comment, as we always say, if you're looking to contribute to the project, go into github.com/HTBox. You'll find the AllReady project there. Go inside of issues, and you can do two routes. One is look for the jump-in tag. Those are usually items we're tagging that are smaller, easier to sort of start up with. You don't have to kind of go in and do open heart surgery. You can do sort of periphery work, get in some experience with the project, and then go deeper. And secondarily, look for the most recent milestone. Right now, we still have the December 31st milestone up there. I'm going to close that out and create a January one, which is going to be all the open issues from that, which there's not too many. Again, we've had quite a bit of good work there, as well as some of the stuff we're going to identify when we do the gap analysis of where the project is versus where we're looking to be to get it into the hands of folks in the next couple of weeks. So look for the most recent milestone or jump in, grab one of those issues, make a pull request, and we tend to be one of the first and we believe best open source experiences. So even if you've never done an open source project, jump in, and folks like Steve and Mr. Paquette and James and a number, Mike McCarthy, et cetera, will kind of jump in, help out, and really kind of shepherd through Git issues, coding issues, whatever that is, because we really want to get as many people as we can active in open source and writing software for good. So with that, I think that will be our stand-up for today. We're going to try to do these weekly again like we were doing before. I'm sure we'll miss a week here or there. We're even thinking of moving this a little bit later to start more at 10:30 Central Time as opposed to 10. So we'll publish the link from the recording of this, as well as the link to where you can see upcoming stand-ups and join and be part of the discussion, as well as the coding. So thanks, Steve. Thanks, Jim, for joining us today. And thanks, everybody, and look forward to seeing what comes out of the folks in the London event in the next couple of days.
Thank you.